Hello.
We're back.
We're back and it's day 10 of converting Coffee the Crafter. We say day 10 like last time, but Callum did some lovely work last night making a frame for the... Hang on a second, guys.
What are we installing today?
We're going to be installing the MAXXAIR fan. Woo!
Right, so today obviously we're fitting the MAXXAIR fan deluxe in the smoke colourway. And this is what it comes with.
Something I don't care about looking at, the instructions. Next up is my favourite, the internal flange.
So we've got to look after this one because this is what's going to sit up through the roof, and we're not going to actually be installing this bit today, so we're going to have to set it aside and look after it, because at the end of the day when we do the final fittings, this is what we're going to see from the inside of the fan when we're popping it open.
I've also got a lot of time for this bit. This is the external flange.
So this one's a good one. This one sits like this, facing forward with the clips to the either side of the van, and these are basically mounting clips for the fan to sit onto. So it comes with a nice rubber seal inside to keep it watertight from the outside, and then it's down to us to keep it watertight from all of the fittings around the outside of there. And that's going to sit on the roof like that, and our fan's going to sit on top of it nice and square. Just wanted to point these out. There's actually some screw holes already, so it shows you exactly where you want to be drilling down through, screwing down through should I say. And this is what I wanted to show you as well, because this is what I made last night, and this is a frame that's going to sit around the outside of this lip here. So when the fan's on the roof, we've cut our 400 by 400 opening, which should be around here. The fan's going to sit down into the wooden frame, like so. The wood will be on the inside of the van. This frame will be on the outside of the fan like that. And then we're going to screw down through these with a layer of sealant in between, and it should have something for the screws to bite into, and it will also act as a spacer between the ceiling of the the ceiling of the van and the ceiling of the inside when we're finished. And I'll show you that from the inside as well, because I've gone off of the inner trim, because from this side to this side is exactly 400mm. So I've got a 400mm inside square, and then I've used 2x2 with a lap joint on each corner, just for a little bit of extra strength. And finally, the fun bit is our MAXXAIR fan deluxe, which we're absolutely buzzing to have. We're excited to fit it. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's one of the market leaders, and apparently it's one of the best in the game. And like I say, it's remote controlled, so for short people like Lucy who can't reach the ceiling,
sure.
So if we're looking at it from the top down, the fan's going to be at the very top. Then we're going to have the external flange, which sits into the fan like that.
Oh yeah, that's
the external one, so going top down.
Yep.
So that's that there. Then the wooden frame that we built yesterday is going to sit on top with the screws coming down through that. And then finally, like I say, once we've got our ceiling on the van, we're going to put the internal flange in, and it should sit something like that. And that's what we'll see from there.
So guys, the issue. It's
not an issue.
It is an issue.
This is pre-planned.
It's an issue for me because it would look really nice in the middle.
Lucy thought today we were going to stick it there.
Yeah, because it would be really nice and really satisfying it being in the middle. However, the shower is going to be here. So, I mean, it would work for me because I'd be able to fit in a nice narrow shower. But Callum, on the other hand, maybe not. So what that means is we might have to have it a little bit further over, and that literally makes me feel sick.
I like it. It's not going to be like that though, but because we're going to have to come this far over, so that if we come over this side more, we're also going to have to fit our dome fan in the same panel here for the bath, for the shower. Sorry.
I wish we were having a bath.
For the shower. So obviously both of them are going to be on the same panel.
Yeah.
Which works fine if we have them both one on each side, isn't it?
I suppose that'll look nice then.
Yeah, I mean you're not going to see it anyway because this bit's going to be narrow once we've got a wall down here, isn't it?
Guys.
To the curve, 130. And then you get on that end. You want this end to come out. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Oh, back a tiny bit.
Oh god, now I've moved.
That end where your head is needs to come towards the middle of the van. Bit more. Bit more. Right, that's 130. That's 130.
Right, get a pen a minute and mark that where it is, just so that I can, if I move, you can always scrub it out if it's not right. My blood's coming from my arms.
I can measure it.
No.
I can measure it properly before I will draw the lines.
Put a line on the inside of there, number 1 or something like a number 1.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, just do it like a number 1. And then do the same on the roof there, what you're not removing. So you make sure you get the wood the right way around every time.
And now, I'll just measure that.
Are you going to use a hole saw in the corner, or are you going to jigsaw, or just a drill bit?
If I use a drill bit big enough that I can get the jigsaw blade through, then that'll be fine, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I've just seen that a bloke on there.
Yeah, I've watched that bloke. To be honest.
Don't worry about a millimetre.
Yeah, but it's 170.
This is Callum we're talking about, Barry.
It's about 4 mil.
Well, how did you do that?
Don't know.
Well, don't worry about that for a minute.
Well, that's pretty good that way.
Well, now you know where it is. You need to cut that and get rid of that soundproofing so you can go straight against the metal. You can't really mark out on a flexi bit, can you?
Yeah, so I just pull up out.
So you might as well pull it down, cut down to there, and go across there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, just
You
cut
can
that
always
whole...
put in.
Should I just cut that whole thing out across here?
Yeah.
It's not that on here, it's just that's just black.
Whether it's managing somehow. How close you want it to the side? That's closer than it was before.
Yeah, not that close. You're still coming quite close. Try and get in between the two struts that way. Yeah.
I don't know.
That looks pretty good. 900.
90.
What we've done to mark out the area that we're going to go from, we've got the wooden frame that we made yesterday. We marked a 1 on the corner. Done the same on, we know that the 1's going to be on the outside of the van. So every time we put the wooden frame on, it's going to be in the right place. On the right side. So what we've done is we got it roughly where we wanted it. Marked, and before we marked the inside side of the square, Lucy was holding this at the time. It's probably going to fall on my head.
No, Dad was holding it.
Oh yeah, Dad was holding it, sorry.
But hang on.
If you hold it for me, got it?
Yeah.
What we did was I got my tape and I measured in from the outside of the wood against the van to the outside of the van. And that way, you know roughly the outside of the van. Once we got the ceiling on, once we got the ceiling on, we're not going to see these struts on the inside. So that way, you can't really measure from these. Whereas going from the outside of the van, you know, you're always going to have the outside of the van there, aren't you? Yeah. So we just got it square to the outside of that, and hopefully that works.
Also, can I just say, I was right in the fact that when we were doing the installation, I was like, we shouldn't really do this panel. And Carl was like, no, it's fine, because we'll cut through it. Look what we've had to peel off, and look at what a mess we've made.
Right, let's go. Well, you're not going to see it.
You can do if you want now, just go through the small one they've got there.
So, just marked up each corner with a larger drill bit. I didn't want to mark up the corners with a small one and go right into the corner, because then when I go through with the bigger one, I might be outside the actual template of where we want to be. So I put the, I don't know what size it is, I think it's 12mm drill bit. Started with that, because I know that the jigsaw can fit down through that once we've drilled it. So I started off with a 12mm, got right into the corner of where we want to be, and if you come and look, I've made a mark in each of the 4 corners. So I know that if I drill through that with a smaller drill bit now, I'm going to be in the right place, and then I can go through with the larger one afterwards. This one. When you're ready, you want these. Ready?
Just stand back. Just hold it right below the.
Ready?
More or less right on the hole. It doesn't matter if it knocks you out the way. This one? No, this one.
Front one. Finally, last one. Right, so finally, we've got each 4 corners sorted. Got drilled 4 corners. Now, from the outside of the van, we know exactly where our template wants to be. I'm going to go around, mask the outside of the area, mark it out with a pen, and that's exactly where our fan is going to be. I'm just going to wipe the area now, just prep it so that when we stick the tape on around the outside, it's actually got something to stick to and it's not peeling off. Just shows we cleaned this when we got the van, and now look at it already. So, now that we've drilled our four centre holes, I've given it all a quick wipe. The surface should be able to stick to the pen and also the tape. So what I'm going to do now, I've got my marked edge on the outside of the van, which I knew exactly where that was going to go. And I'm just going to line it up the best I possibly can to each of the 4 holes. And from here, should be able to the best of my ability, give it an outline. I could have moved around with a pen. I'm just going to measure now that that's actually 400 each way. That's good to me. So I know now that if I go to the outside of my lines, I'm going to be big enough, but not too big.
Tape. Masking tape.
That's good for me. We've now masked out the area. The reason I've gone so far, it does look a bit overboard, but it's not, I promise you, because the reason we've done this is so that when the jigsaw's in there, the arse end of it's going to be right over here. And we don't want to be damaging the van, any of the paintwork. And I've left also about a 10mm space in between the line that we've marked out for the 400 square and the masking tape, because we're going to be priming around that area. Hopefully it'll give us a nice square finish to the primer, even though you're not going to see it.
Guys, I'm actually on the roof. This is the first time I've ever been on the roof of Coffee, and I'm actually a little bit scared, I won't lie to you. Don't know why I'm laying down. Can you see my Uggs in the back? Cute! Callum's also told me to not move around a lot, but I am a fidget, so we're going to see how that works out. But
Looks good to me. That's pretty perfect, darling.
look,
Yeah, that's perfect. That's fine.
just gone off the line
Not
a
the mark.
bit.
We won't see it. That's perfect.
Are you sure?
Yeah, well done.
Now how do I do the next bit then?
Yeah, that is a little bit out of that corner. Well done.
Bye guys. I did one line and I'm scared.
Yay! Okay. Right, there we have it. That's our hole sorted. I'm going to measure it across now and hope that it's still 400 by 400. Because if it ain't...
Voice break!
I've got to hope that it's still 400 by 400, because if it ain't, then something's gone drastically wrong. But we should be good.
Yeah.
Right, we wanted 400 by 400. Well, just over. I said 401 by 402. 1 mil. Won't make a difference. And 401 by 402. That's that. Let's give it a little clean. Looking nice. Right, primer, giving it a really good shake, good stir. I'm just going to go over prime everywhere, all these edges. You don't want this bare metal getting rusting or anything. Again, it don't really matter about being too neat. Right, so the area is primed, ready to go now. I've just actually put the flange through. It says to keep the metal to the outside of the van because I know the vent's going to be slotting in on them. And we've just given it a little test run and it does fit in the gap, which is perfect. Obviously there's a little bit of leeway, which we said about, but it's better to be a tiny bit bigger than too small because I think it'd be a struggle then. And it's nice, it actually fits in perfectly, really. And what I was going to say is we got these little mastic strips. They're 5 meters long.
Little.
Yeah, little. 5 meters long. They come like this, and I'm sure it was on Amazon. We got 3 boxes. We got 15 meters because we're going to be fitting this, the dome, and also the skylight. And I think that was about 12 or 13 pounds for one of these, which I think is quite reasonable for what it is. Because the reason we've got it is because of all these indents, and basically what a lot of people do is they buy. It's about 75 or 80 quid. They buy like a jig and it will sit over these where you want it on the van, but because we're having it offset, it wouldn't really fit in the right place because it's more for areas where there's less grooves in the roof. So decided not to go with that because I think for 3 of them it would have been like 75, 80 quid each, whereas we could have got these mastic strips that we can put on and just build up the area in between. Hopefully now, once we drop this down through, you'll have to go on the inside and make sure that it all comes through. Hopefully, this is going to do its job.
Go on.
So we're going to go for it. It's quite sticky. You have to guide it in probably. You'll have to probably help me get it through because I don't know. I can't see from here. Are all 4 corners in or no?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
You don't.
They're all in. They're all. Oh, this side isn't actually. This side.
You'll have to help me. I can't see.
Over here. That way a bit.
What way?
Had like the tiniest bit. That way up here.
Good?
Yeah, they're all in now.
Definite?
Yeah.
So this is how we're looking now. Got the mastic tape around there, which has worked pretty nicely. I'm just going to I'll be going around later with some sealant probably around the outside of these edges just to get it neater. But that is the frame on and it's looking good. So I'm going to go in now and I'm going to get the wooden frame on the inside. I'm just going to bring a bead of grip fill around the inside of this frame. Hopefully got enough. But if not, should be there. Generous amount on that. That should do it, let's hope. Pretty much the bottom of the tube as well. That's good. Chop blocks of wood. And hopefully once I get this on here.
Well, you put one on loose, it ain't gonna work.
Oh yeah, if that's alright then. Just hold it one on each corner for a minute maybe. I'm happy with where that is.
You're better off doing that. No, no, you can't. Can't do it because of...
Because the angle. I think I need to get a block of wood, don't I?
Yeah.
From inside. So I'm going to leave this now to go off for a little while. Whilst that's going off, I'm going to have a quick tidy up around here. Probably end up making the next wooden frame or even making a start on it for the skylight. Or no, I'll probably do the dome fan today. And yeah, so I'm happy with that. And then later, once it's gone off, we'll be coming back and I'll just be using some of this Sikaflex, which I really recommend. This is the stuff, and I've just gone for white. Because it's obviously the same colour as the roof of the fan then. So yeah, this is like basically a waterproof sealant for caravans, motorhomes and everything like that. So it's literally made for this type of stuff and it should do the job. Right, so this is the latest. I've remasked around the outside. I've left about 10mm this time from the outside of the outer flange. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run along the edge, get rid of this, or any of the mastic that's sticking out, because we don't really want it there. And then I'm going to be caulking with the Sikaflex around the outside of the flange. And by doing this and leaving a 10mm sort of gap, I'm not going to end up with Sikaflex accidentally all over the roof. It's actually being quite nice to me, and it's peeling back really neatly to the edge. I say really, fairly neatly to the edge. And by clamping it down as well, it's sort of squidged itself out. So I know that it's a pretty good bead of mastic in there. It's pretty level. And when I go over it with Sikaflex in a minute, fingers crossed, that's a final sealant and we ain't going to have any leaks. It doesn't really go like you want it, but I'm going to run my finger along afterwards anyway.
You not put screws in yet?
No, do it in a sec.
Well, you do that to get it squeeged out properly.
Well, probably should have, to be fair. Too late now.
Yeah, you need, that's the gap there.
I'm going to be pushing my hand along it now.
I wouldn't do it until you put some screws in it. Ignore it for a minute.
Well, I think it'll go off.
It'll go off that quick.
Okay. Any good?
It's doing something, isn't it?
Bit into it?
Something's happening. I like the grip fill's working very well.
Well, that's good. Reason I'm doing
Try, well, as soon as it goes through the roof, try not to go any deeper.
into the wood,
Yeah.
let it bite then, I suppose.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Cheers. The reason I drill in pilot holes is because we went to drill in straight away with a screwdriver, and started bowing the plastic up and realised that it was actually just going straight into the metal of the roof of the van. So that's it. So I'm not going to over tighten these. I'll probably go over them afterwards with this hand screwdriver. Right, this is what we're left with. And I will say that last 15 minutes was probably the most stressful 15 minutes of my life. Trying to get that Sikaflex to sit around there. I'll be completely honest, yeah, we got a straight line around the outside, but I'm not overly chuffed with how it looks. If it's a good job, I ain't got to really look at the ceiling, the roof of the van very often. So that'll do for the outside. Hopefully that'll be watertight. I've gone over each of the screws after we've done them with the Sikaflex as well, and the same with the outside. The mastic obviously peeled out, and I went over it again with the sealant. So hopefully that'll be watertight. I'm just waiting for it to go off now. Of course, wouldn't be England if it didn't start spitting as soon as I finish the job. I'm just going to run a bead of Sikaflex on the inside now, and that should be the final part to this before I stick on the top fan on. That'll do. Ready to go with the last bit. I'm here. I've just had a look, and it says it needs to be open in the open position, which is there. It's easy to open. I'm going clockwise now to close the fan. So I've completely opened it by going all the way anti-clockwise. And once I'm in that position, that's perfect for fitting apparently. And from there, I should be able to lower it down onto the roof, the receiving clips, hopefully. Just play around with it a little bit. Not quite that side, or that side. Right, so the fan's in place. It's just a small matter of getting the screws to line up. And I saw a little tip someone did. You just put a little bit of pressure on the fan and a fine tip screwdriver. Just get the holes to line up. And if you work it in there, I think you get it. Eventually you get quite close. Which it is getting there. It takes a fair bit of pressure though, which I don't like. It doesn't feel right. But I think it's because the rubber seal underneath the fan is quite stiff. It doesn't seems like too much pressure. Right, we were able to work them clips up by sticking the screwdriver in and twisting. So each of the clips have been raised a tiny bit. Hopefully this time we get a bit more luck. That side.
You got a screwdriver.
Hey?
You got a screwdriver.
I've got this one. I don't have a Phillips for the other side. And that's the corner, just the front one now. Hang on. That's that.
Right.
That'll do. Thank you. Nice one, mate. And that is how you install, or how not to install, MAXXAIR Fan Deluxe. There we have it. Buzzing. That's how to install a MAXXAIR Fan Deluxe in smoke. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe as always. And if you will have noticed Lucy hasn't been here for the last few clips. That's because she's gone to my cousin's baby shower. So if you're watching, good luck Molly and Kieran. And yeah, thank you all very much. Come back next time, we'll be fitting the dome and the skylight. So thank you very much, and we'll see you in a bit.